All right, all right. We're back for part B of Glow's Corner. We have a special guest. I've been looking forward to doing a guest rendition, Casey Reanna in the place to be. I don't really have much to add. I said basically everything I had to say. I want your input on the video. Casey just watched the video of the man. I rewatched it and saw some things that I hadn't seen before. Just talking about men of that caliber not looking for an average type woman. Older men. The age thing was a factor. She was a 35-year-old woman. Her age was another reason that she was undesirable according to this man. So what's your thoughts, Casey?
You know, I was looking at it and I was like, I wonder what his mother looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder how she feels watching him say that. You know what I'm saying? Like watching her son say this, and then how she feels as maybe she's not an average looking woman, but everybody average to somebody. You know what I mean? Like that was just, it wasn't very nice. And I guess like, I don't know if she was paying him for a service, if he's a matchmaker or something. Like I don't know how it got to the point where she was asking for his advice. What made him
the authority? I feel like I don't know much about him. Somebody else sent me another video of him, and it was just a short clip, and the dude asked, he was talking to a dude, and he was like, "Do you have a big dick?"
Oh, who said that?
The same
the
man.
host,
yeah.
Guy.
So maybe he's an equal opportunity line crosser and offender.
Like he gay, or he was saying why he was single.
I don't even know the context. I just think that was the only part I seen to see him ask the question. I don't know the context of the conversation. So apparently he asked the hard hitting questions.
Oh, okay. I see.
You know that type of, you know what I'm saying?
Simon Cowell shit.
Yeah. Or yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But did you feel uncomfortable?
I wish I felt more uncomfortable because I think it just shows how desensitized I am to seeing a black man speak like that about a black woman, and then even black men that I've dated or that are in my life, like how they view women and what is appropriate and what is inappropriate and what standards you think you should have. And I've seen all walks of life people meet up. You know what I mean? Like if you have a conversation and you pull someone, you pull someone. But a lot of men do think that way though. Chris Rock said that shit.
So do you think that he was just like you said earlier, post record, that you feel like he was sort of telling the truth to her though?
I mean, it is true. Like I don't see like famous men or rich men, they get their pick, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like a lot of times like men with toys, until they reach a level of evolution, they're still picking their women like they pick their cars in a sense, like what they look good driving. So if they're still on like keeping one up on the Joneses, and I want to make sure I need a woman that all my homies want or that everyone want, then yes, they're gonna have that. But you know, like, not saying that women of substance aren't beautiful, like they goes hand in, it can go hand in hand, but I think it take them a minute to realize that the issues they keep having in relationships is because of the type of women they're choosing, not just because all women spend my money, all women sleep with the homies. It's just y'all keep pulling from the same thing. So it's like, as someone, if his business is to, I mean, I guess some people like to be torn down. Like, I've been a masochist at times, so it's like
taking that abuse. Yeah. But see, you talking about want your money, but if you lead with your money,
that's all you got, right?
A lot of these dudes who she might be looking at, whether they are business or a doughboy or however they get their money, they lead in with their money. Like they like, hey, what's up? They have a watch on, or
but they
look
for that shit.
Yeah, so it's like you want this type of woman. So when you get her, why are you complaining about her being a gold digger or being after your money?
Exactly. Because they don't realize, just like a lot of us, we don't realize what we want looks like. So it's like, I want a little baby that'll listen, and they don't realize what comes with that. Like, these are also the women who will probably raise your children, and then you've got a replica of that. But somebody
that just know how to shop.
Exactly.
supposed to be teaching your children.
Exactly. And all they've been taught is to just be beautiful. And they haven't been taught to do anything else. I'm not saying that, again, that's just one archetype of it. But this is what it is. Like you said, when you lead with it, like, I'm going to pull up in this big old car. I'm going to have all, like you said, the flashing watches and da-da-da. That attracts a certain type of female, just like walking down the street with a bikini attracts a certain type of male. So it's like...
So one thing I was talking about was like my personal expectations that I set. And I know that we are not gold diggers. Maybe we should be.
I know. They stay with some gold.
Yes. But what are your, like, have you set expectations? Because I feel like there is a line. Like, I feel like she might be on the far end of the spectrum to say, I only want you to have this in your account. But I think that I know what I do is say, oh, I don't ask for much. And then I don't ask for much, and then I might not get much. So what do you have you don't have a financial expectation that you said?
I want to say I don't. The type of things that attract me are usually worn by people who have some level of, like, taste that exudes what they just see on commercials. So, like, say, like, you're not going, and this is just an example, but you don't see Maybach commercials, which I think I have seen a Maybach commercial. But just, like, certain brands are just there, like, they don't, so it's like there are certain things that people learn through refinement. Or, like, the things that I'm attracted to are, like, refined things at times. So, I haven't, the men that I do date that have money, though, can be the ones that are the most condescending. Like, but I also don't know if that's that, like, my desire to nurture a dude, because it's easier to date a dude that needs you for something. And so they were the first ones to show me, like, okay, well, I don't need you for this and this and that. What do you really have to bring to the table? So it makes you step up as a female, and maybe nobody, not saying she's not, but maybe no one has, she hasn't had that moment with them.
That's interesting. So, yeah, dealing with somebody because you want to feel like you're helping them. So then is this thing, is it a power thing for you or for us when you're not dating someone who has more than you, because maybe subconsciously you want to have more than them, even if it's not financially or whatever. It's like, I got more than you, I'm more evolved than you, I'm more spiritual. It's something that I had that I can give you, you know.
I think, like, with mine, I remember when my ex, for, like, when we met, he had a car and then he lost his car. And it's funny because this matches a couple, so a few are going to think I'm talking about it. I remember when he was about to get it back, I was like, oh, this nigga gonna fuck up. Like, I'm going to get some issues now. And that's when I was like, okay, if you can't feel comfortable with your man being fully mobile, free, and independent, then it's something that I have to figure, there's something going on in here. You know what I'm saying? So that's being able to recognize those feelings. And I think that's where her issue comes in. It's like, we all need these conversations that they're having. I would never do it publicly in a sense like that. And if he really loved black women and black people, he wouldn't do that publicly either.
I concur.
Like, you can do that by criticism, or constructive criticism is not meant to be public.
Yeah, he could have pulled her coat in a different way. And, like, even, like, the whole thing about the looks part, it just, I don't know why, maybe, you know what I'm saying, maybe she's not, maybe she is average by his standards, you know what I'm saying? You have the right to have your opinion on what's attractive to you. But, like you said, it was just, like, this public thing, and it was just, like, she was like, I'm a fan, I really like your show. It just felt wrong. It felt
like,
hard.
Get up and go. Like, yeah. I do. And I mean, it reminded me of, because I was watching I don't know what they're called, the YouTubers, Alvin and Preach, and they were showing that, remember that show, The Lie Show? And, like, they would, beforehand, they would hook you up to a lie detector and answer all these questions, and you had to answer in front of your family, and, like, well, marriages was, like, destroyed, all this is horrible. But the argument was they knew what they were going up there for. Like, if this is his thing, she might have known what she was getting into, and people will pay with their dignity to go viral. You know what I mean? And because I would never, like, but stuff like that brings, because there are men who do love and are evolved, and now they're like, yo, how can you speak to her like that? She probably got DMs full. So it's like, I think she knew the rewards based off the price she was paying for.
She's gonna get attention. She gonna get
she
sympathy attention. You know what I'm saying? And she might get people that are genuinely interested in her as well.
Exactly. Now she can just fight them off with a stick. So it's like, in a sense, like PR wise,
I've dated a dude who like had money or was in a good place financially, lost his job, didn't have shit, and like I said it earlier, turned into a monster, and then got the money back, and and still was a different kind of monster. You know what I'm saying? Which to me is like about your character, and it's like, are you your truest self with or without money?
I know, and I think we're always our truest self. You know what I mean? It's just, this is who I am in this situation. That's why it's best to be able to see someone at all levels.
Yeah.
So you know who, because we do, when I'm afraid, I act differently than when I'm confident. And it's like, when you connect with someone, you have to be able to at least stomach all phases, because you're going to see all phases, and to be human is to go through those phases. So it's like, it's good when we see the build up, but unfortunately, like, when the broke niggas I've dated, I don't get to be there on their climb. Like, we don't make it through. Like, they're better, but none of them are really climbing. But yeah, and like the ones with money, there's only one. You know, there's just 1.5.
Say ones. All the niggas I date with money.
the plethora of men that are coming, but I mean, they're yeah.
You don't get to date them through their climb, and I sort of think, what about, as a woman, when you are dealing with, financial, how you're different in relationships? Because I mean, I haven't balled out of control yet. That's coming, soon come. But just being in places where I was like financially struggling versus when I'm just a little more comfortable, I can see that I am a little more insecure. And I think about it, is a little more insecurity, and and I know that I can imagine that for a man, that is heightened, because in a lot of ways, the way society structure is set up, a man's job is to provide and to offer that. So if they're not doing that first baseline expectation, then they're going to feel like they're not shit. You know what I'm saying? And, that's one thing I took accountability for in like my I don't know what to do with the camera. I took accountability for my previous, relationship, is that he was not happy or satisfied financially. He was in a bad place financially, so he didn't have the space to give me what I needed emotionally, because he wasn't meeting his base low chakra.
That's real. I think that's, aside from other things, I think that's kind of dealing with so-and-so. Like, a lot of men think that they can't be all the woman needs if they don't have financial security already. And even if they want that control factor, you know what I'm saying? Even if they're just like, they can hold that shit over you. But I mean, I've never had a dude take care of me. You know what I'm saying? I've never had, once I moved out of the house, like, I might have got
ex-booze.
Right, no shade. No shade. I just never got to be like the freeloader. Not even to call it freeloading, but
the kept woman.
The kept woman.
Yeah.
Like, once I started paying rent, I paid rent from then on. Like, there were times, like, maybe a month, like when before I moved up here, my family all pitched in and covered my last month's rent. But since I had to start paying rent, my name has been on a lease since it's been on a lease, like from then forward. So, no, when I stayed at that Hampton house for like 6 to 8 months.
That's a long time.
I think I did. I think I stayed there, but I did pay utilities. But even still, like,
Well, the control factor is a thing. So the dude has the money, so now he dictates how you
She's
move,
possession.
what you're one of his, like you said, his toys. But it's like, is that something that we women who quote unquote don't ask for much, and we accept men who are not financially stable or in the greatest place, are we trying to, like you said, is this a control thing for us as well? Like you said, you sort of said it because it's like you feel more confident if he's not can't get around and be in the street. Even though if a nigga gonna find a way, you know what I'm saying? A
Uber now.
car, he will
These
get.
days, they want Uber back then, so he was stuck.
Yeah, true.
You had
Unless you get a taxi or some shit.
Yeah, he had a bike.
You will find a way to get to the Pune now.
Yeah.
And women will, you know.
Do you know how many niggas I done picked up?
Hell yeah.
Niggas ain't gotta have a car.
Yeah. So that's sort of interesting too, like that part, because it is sort of a control thing, even if you claim that it's not. I think there's a lot of things that we do that are like subconsciously
trying to attach them to us. Like, you need me for the ride, or you need me to feel happy, or like you need me for that energetic shift. Like, we try to make ourselves, what's the word, irreplaceable, or like, I'm trying to think
like
of
in a job.
Yes, indispensable.
Yes.
And it's like, we want you to need us. That way it's like you stay. Like, I know for me, like, my thing is, my toxic trait is attachment. Like, I'm constantly trying to merge. So it's like, I can't help but find the pieces in you where I can fit and be like, look, I fit here. Isn't this great?
Yeah, isn't your life better with
Don't
me
you
in
love
this
it?
space right here? Look at me. Look at me. I brought you the best weed, and I bought some snacks. And
Weed, water.
I need to be needed. That's what Lori talk about. Need to be needed, and the attachment. See, this is my new attempt of approach at a relationship.
Oh, I love that blue.
Thank you. Is that I'm attempting to relieve that attachment part. It's difficult, you know what I'm saying? Because my thing is that I know that that's where a lot of the hurt comes from. Is this attachment, because we look at our partners, our mates, spouses, whatever, as our possessions. Like you said earlier, like this is his toy. Well, we do it as well. Like, this is my man.
Yes.
You know, my woman. It's mine. And it's like, nobody is yours. Like, your children are not yours.
Yeah.
They're gonna eventually go up and leave. And it's like, we have to find a way to, like, what Lauren London, her birthday just passed. She said about Nipsey, about how, you know, you can only experience people. You can't have them. And it's like, I think that's where a lot of it comes from too. You know what I'm saying? It's like this need, because if you're going to get the dude with the money, then you want to have him. You don't want him out and about, you know, spread. Even though I find that women are more lax with men with money. So they get away with more. They can step out more. They can, you know what I'm saying, do whatever if these other things are taken care of. You know, it's just sort of like, okay, well, I won't complain about this.
Our rent being paid.
Yeah, my rent's being paid, so okay, maybe I only see him once a week. I got a Birkin bag. It's worth it. But yeah, the attachment part, I'm really working on that. And you know what I'm saying, even like dating and meeting new people, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just be free and, you know, and just not be attached. And it's like, as soon as I start liking them again, it's like, mine. You know, I'm gonna hold on. You know what I'm saying? Don't do nothing. Don't be fun with nobody else. don't, like, you heard that Jasmine Sullivan song, that Lost one?
I think so.
She said, "Don't have too much fun without me."
Oh yes.
Yeah. That's the whole thing. Like,
sent me that one.
Chris Rock said that too. Yes. He's like, women hate when men have fun without them. Like, even with their homeboys or anybody. What you doing over there? You over there kicking? Like, you can have, but that's back to the whole thing of, I should be that person that provides that for you. I would provide this so that you can see that I'm indispensable and worthy, you know, of you continually to invest in me, so that I can keep you and hold you.
Yeah, definitely. Like, the struggle to love someone without owning them, like, it's difficult because we've been taught to love the things we own, and so when we love this person, that own has always been attached to love. So it's like, it automatically is like, we think that love is this well that can be used up. and we feel like if you love me and if you love someone else, then you can't really love me. And that's not really true. And that's probably what is happening. Because even if I met someone amazing tomorrow, I will always have love for those that I have love for.
Yeah.
And I can't, if I'm attracting my reciprocal or like what's in here, then if he loves as strongly as I do, then there are people that he will always love as well. So it's like, and that I hate, but I understand, and I know that the hate is my problem. It's like my deep-seated, like, it's abandonment issues, like, coming out in this. So, and then it doesn't help that though these are all traits within ourselves, a lot of niggas cheat. A lot of niggas move in ways that make you question your motherfucking sanity. Like, you can catch a nigga in all this evidence and he'll still lie to you and have you thinking you tripping. So it's hard to know when you're dealing with your own shit that you need to deal with or when you're dealing with an enemy. So it's like, it's hard, like, after a while, like, safety, what is it called? Like, survival instincts, they get passed down through generations. If you have generations of heartbroken women, these girls are going to come into this world with that shell already there. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're taught to protect ourselves first, but love comes from such a vulnerable place. And that shit is difficult because men are attracted to that vulnerability, but we have become warriors. And like, shout out to Jay. That's why I relate to that poem so much. And even the poet, the little girl from TWP, and I don't mean to say little girl like, but she's a small frame, but the poet laureate, and she got a poem about like women having to be resilient, and we don't want to be resilient. Yeah. Like, bitch, we want to be fucking soft too. Yeah. But it's like, like I said, I've never been able to just drop everything and be like, oh, someone catch me. Like, even real, like, pass out shit, it's like, it's just me. Like, there's times I'm like, shit.
Did y'all?
I've literally been like half in and out of your bathroom. Sick. Like, one time because I had food poisoning. Oh, nope. I be doing that. But all that to say, like, we do want to be soft. And for generations of hardness, and then to see, and this is again my bag, but when I see them, like, did you see that picture of that white girl holding that black boy in front of that cotton field? Yeah. Like, how dare you? To me, it's a slap in my face that you gonna lead there. And I understand, but this is just how this is what I feel when I see it. And it's like, I'm around so many amazing women that want to be loved. And it's like, you're throwing your love to this woman who will put you in front of a cotton field. This is what you feel is your equal. Then no, you're not here with me.
And that you're willing to be soft with.
That you're willing to be soft with. Becky get the best.
Man,
Becky get, what did Nikki and who was it? Nikki and James Baldwin. She was like, lie to me too then. Like, you smile for your bosses. Yeah, that was too nasty. But I hold you down at home, you know? And I just feel, but I mean, that's everyone. Like, you get the worst of your parents. You get the worst of
the people you care the most
you're close to.
I would definitely like to. I've witnessed that. I witnessed somebody in a relationship, and he was very stern and cold, and then he got in another relationship with a white woman, and he was just this soft, gentle, just a whole different. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, it's not relevant, but it's relevant because it goes back to what the host was saying to a black woman. Yeah, that's what made it like.
They don't be fine white girls.
Regular shade at the best.
No,
like he told me
to women, but
like she's average at best. But
like sis.
But it's just about like the front of it. Like, we are really in this phase where we have to get past. We have to learn what's a conversation for everybody, and what's a conversation that should just be
and
internal.
We don't get to have our own internal. We don't have any, like, the parents will, I'll take all the doors off the hinges. All our doors are off the hinges. Like, if it's gonna be digital, like, we have no space on the internet to not have eyes, and we are too broken internally to be able to deal with that shit publicly, because everybody don't need to see all of this shit, because it's nasty shit that comes from a wound that never healed. Like, it's pus, all this shit. Like, maggots have snuck in. Like, we're dealing with some shit, and ain't no one ever stepped in, and we just trying to figure it out. You know what I'm saying?
Conditioning.
We're dealing with, exactly.
Yeah. We get different, because that goes into even our concepts of relationships are based on the European standard of relationships, which is, that's not our shit. You know what I'm saying? This is another. I posted a video of a woman saying that about a man having a woman on the side and all this stuff. And but she was saying some good things about how we are trying to have European style relationships, and their shit is faulty. And that's outside of our culture or who we are. Not to say that we are not meant to have monogamous relationships, even though, like, my perspective on that is shifting.
I know. It's like I'm the one that's holding on, and it's like my mind is like, but Casey, I'm like, I know, but can I be that last dying generation?
Yeah, you just like,
I get it.
My man,
I get it.
Just us two looking at each other, like hating each other.
Those like for real.
But I think that, like, it's so many things that have conditioned us. Like you said, these wounds that we haven't healed. Then we are trying to base our relationships based on TV. Like, what else do we do based on TV? Like, we thought if we ate the way they ate on TV, we would be starving. Or, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then that's the same way we sort of try to feed ourselves emotionally, is based on, like I said, I'm like, I watched too much Love Jones. And I thought that the dude was going to chase the train for me. Like, that's what I've been looking for, a nigga to chase the train for me.
I know, biters and shit, you know?
Make the eggs in the morning, all that good shit. You know what I'm saying? And not to say that that doesn't exist, but sometimes this expectation is just like this fairy tale.
I know. And it's like, it really was the perfect storm. You know, like, you really only have to knock one little domino over and everything falls over.
So
like,
fragile.
We're literally the only people dealing with shit like this. Like, we're the only women dealing with a shortage of their own. You know what I'm saying? Like, all other races date outside, but everybody pretty much set. Like, it's just a little outlier. So it's like, there's so many things that it's only us that is affected on the planet. Like, black people, we're the only ones of a lot of things. So it's just interesting, and there's really no one who can help us but us, because no one's been through it either.
No one's coming to save us.
No one's coming. What was that? What was that? No one's coming to save you. I don't remember, but that was like a theme in one of these movies, or shows. But yeah, unfortunately, because a lot of the things that I know best are things that I've taught myself.
Yeah, and then we need to teach ourselves. It has to be a whole reset with how we operate culturally, and like our relationships, you know, our children, like all of that is all related, and it all starts at this relationship level. And
it does.
I think that the way that we're looking at relationships just needs to change. Like, it's sort of like I talk about people with food and diet. I'll lead with food and diet because it's a good way to tap into people, to tap in. And what I say about food is that food is medicine. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that it tastes good is a byproduct. You know what I'm saying? And that's just like relationships, even sex. You know what I'm saying? Like, sex is for procreation. Exactly. The fact that it feels good is a byproduct. The same thing with relationships. Relationships is created for this union. Yeah. And the fact, all the other stuff that comes with it are these complex byproducts that have just been created as you, like, making the story up as you go along. Like, in ancient times, it was more like, okay, we made this baby, and you're going to come and bring the food, and I'm going to tend to the home, and I might not, what is love? You know what I mean? Like, this, I know. In that way, you know what I'm saying?
You were chosen for a lot of times you was chosen for your husband, or, that is true.
Or your fertility, how fertile you could be. It's really about continuing the lineage, you know, in a lot of ways, and it's like, do you want to just continue your lineage? And I know that's a biological thing, too, when it comes to lineage. You want the strong person. You want these certain traits to give to your children. But at the same time, it's like, you want intelligence, too, right? You know what I'm saying? You want them to have these other aspects. You want a nurturer. You want, you know, I don't know. I'm not mad at, I don't know. I can't say I'm not mad at the men that date. It's I don't know that they date women just based on how it adds to their picture.
And I think they're looking for like the shit is fucked up, you know, like what's going on. Like they probably have like having to deal with their mom. Maybe it's just their mom. Maybe it's their dad. Like people have fucked up situations and they want it to be easier. And they feel white women are easier. They're raised differently. They're raised to treat their men differently, apparently. And it's like, but we also want it easier. And we're willing to work it out until we figure it out. Whereas it feels like sometimes they're jumping ship. But it's like, I do get it. A lot of dudes be like, oh, well, you wouldn't even be attracted to me. And I get it.
And not just white women, just women that are more docile, soft, gentle, like that ease. And it's like, I think it's a miscommunication because I honestly think that even though original women, we get portrayed as being so rah-rah, really, I feel like we put up with a lot of shit. We're just going to say something about it. And a lot of times, like, we're going to say something about it and then keep dealing with it, which is a whole nother piece. Because my thing is like, if you're going to deal with the shit, just deal with it. There's no need to keep talking about it. There's no need to make a gripe about it. There's no need to be calling all your girlfriends about it. Like, if you're going to keep dealing with whatever this person is bringing to you, then just deal with it. You know what I'm saying? So I think that we are more likely to speak against it, but we will still deal with it a lot of times.
And I think, and that might even be why we have to deal with it. It's because we do. And it's like, whatever, I just keep seeing these things like our loyalty, like how we lead with our loyalty. And we just have such loyalty to our people that we'll sacrifice being loved on. You know what I'm saying? Because we do be like, I don't know a lot of women. I don't think I know anybody that has a white boyfriend or vice versa. But
you said sacrifice being loved on.
Like just like, and I know black men love. I'm sure they do. I can't say that I've been loved to capacity by a black man in my life. Like maybe few I can think of in moments that I've known, but I wonder if it is because you attract what's lacking there. So it's like once that disconnect from the man happened in my life, do I continually attract that?
So because that's what you attract people that can love you the way that you're able to be loved, which is limited because you have this wall and this guard. Yeah, that's true.
It takes longer. Like even we're talking about when you have to figure out those systems on your own, and then you find out there's an easy way to do it. And it's like, I grew up around strong women. I didn't grow up around watching men take care of women. So it's like I didn't learn that outside of TV. But what I was seeing wasn't really that. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like I didn't really start interacting with dudes on that level till much, much older. But it takes a long time when you have to teach yourself as opposed to just seeing it. And it's like that's the strength of having both parents, because it's not supposed to be either one carrying it on their own. Like you get both sides, and you also get to see what love looks like between whomever, you know, the two opposites. So it's like we don't see that. So it's just, and this is what those children, the latchkey kids, look like as adults. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know that personally. Growing up in single parent household, it'd be uncomfortable for me as a child when I would go visit my friends who had both their parents. And just seeing those relationships interacting, I felt like I was in a space that I wasn't supposed to be. I just felt like this was a private. I just didn't know how to operate around it, so I would just get weird. And so it manifests like in my relationships, even if I am the point of affection and the relationship is between me and this person. It's like, okay, hi, because this discomfort that I didn't learn. You know what I'm saying, from watching, and I only learned from TV too, and it was like, TV is not quite right. And even that part about the bag, I was talking about, that's not even the financial bag, but all the shit that we deal with in relationships is really our own bag.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if you are a dude, if you are a woman that only wants a 6-figure dude, then what insecurity is that about you?
Mm-hmm.
If you are a dude that only wants a woman that looks a certain way or has a fat ass, then what is it about you that you can only be seen? I need somebody who's going to make me look good because you don't look good for some reason. Something about you don't feel.
Right.
You need extra dressings and trappings to be, you know, because you want to be desired by more people, basically.
Exactly. They need more of that attention. Or not even need it, but like you said, there's something missing. So they'll up who's standing next to them to be that.
Okay. Well, that's right on time. That's our last edition. I'm going to add this in. This might be a 2-parter, so I think we got some good footage.
Hold on, Grandma.
Peace, Grandma.
Oh.